Hi, and welcome to the Spark the Heartz podcast. My name is Lizzie, and I'm an intuitive energy channel and a Reiki practitioner. This podcast is a safe space where we talk about spirituality, energetics, cycles, rebirth, and so much more. So while I'm in your field of awareness today, I hope you tune into the frequency of this episode with an open heart and a new sense of curiosity. As a reminder, you're a sovereign being, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to this week's episode. I have a card pull for you guys this week. I also have topics that are going to center around energy work and just how you can work with your own energy, what is energy work, and how can it feel like, look like from the point of view of a practitioner and somebody who's been on the other side of receiving energy work. But before I get more into it, I actually just want to start off with the card pull first to get you guys in the right mindset. So wherever you are, take a moment, take a deep breath for me, fill up those lungs, and just let it out. If you're in a space where you could just do it loudly and just give that, do it. If not, breathe like normal, but just know it's okay. I'm here and we're both here together. And let's take a moment to just really soak it all in and create that space within us to receive, to be open, to be here now in this moment. The card that I pulled for you guys this week is Crown Chakra Upgrade. It comes from the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Now, it's a beautiful card. It has a dove and it's surrounded by like this white light that is just radiating in a sense of a column. And there's a bunch of columns to the left and the right. And there's all these like activational energy. It's just a beautiful card. I'm going to go ahead and share this image on Instagram for you guys so that you can check it out. It has beautiful light rays coming in, straight up lasers of activation, just beautiful. So the card says, Crown Chakra Upgrade. Divine connection, holy experiences, miraculous energy. This is a timeless message. Doesn't matter when you're tuning into this. Just know that this is coming your way right now. The meaning of the card itself is the crown chakra is the energy center found at the top of the head. Often symbolized by a 1,000-petaled lotus, it governs our connection to wisdom, both internal and that of source. Opening the crown chakra represents connecting deeply with the heart of source and drawing down inspiration and insight. This card transports us to a sacred hall with pillars representing the divine connections to source and a gateway that is guarded by a white dove, symbolizing the Holy Spirit. It may seem as though this is another realm or dimension. Ultimately, it is found within. We are all facets of Holy Spirit incarnate. This card calls us home to ourselves, encouraging us to claim our divinity. So this is the part where it helps you connect to this. So take a moment to visualize the crown of your head opening up and bursting with infinite clear and rainbow light. Send a signal from your crown up into the heart of heaven. Visualize streams of consciousness pouring into you and listen deeply. If you have a moment to take a note down, whether it's on your phone, on a piece of paper, or just letting it come into your heart and feeling it, is this your truth? And ask for support in aligning that to be your truth even more in this physical reality. But I'll continue on to your message. Your crown chakra has been upgraded. The spiritual connections you have always had are now being acknowledged. The parts of yourself that you have run from or ignored are being reclaimed. This is an important time, for you are uncovering gifts and wisdom and moving through healing. You may have experienced moments that have tested your faith and your belief in the divine. Know that it's okay and no grievances are being held against you. Confirmation that you're being held by the light of God, and that you're having those activations to align you more with the divine energy that is here to support you in more ways than one. If you want to be more intentional with it, by all means, maybe sit with the visualization of your crown chakra opening up and just having the light come in through your crown and letting it spread through your body and letting that rainbow light really activate you. However that feels for you, let it be something that's personal and that really propels you forward in a way that supports all of your systems, not just one. Don't discredit how just setting that intention and connecting with the divine and allowing it to flow into you can really propel you in ways that you probably didn't think were possible. Everything happens in divine timing. And it's funny because as I was setting up to record this podcast episode, I was like going back and asking myself, like, how do I want to talk about energy work? What can I share from my point of view? And how can this be relevant to you? I had myself going down like this rabbit hole of checking my emails for how it was like when I first started Reiki back in 2022. I did level 1 and I had to kind of practice on myself. I had to practice on myself, and I practiced on my husband. I believe I would practice with my plants. And I learned so much about the way that I interact with energy and how my body I wonder if you guys can hear the train in the back, but how my body just takes information and gives it to me and breaks it down in a way that is a language for me. I'm going to share a bunch of different things with you guys today, so I hope you have the space to take it in and just ask yourself the questions as they come up as well. Because my intention is to talk about energy work in a way that helps you not only understand from a textbook level, but also how it can influence us when it comes to the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual forms. Because anything that you do in energy work really does trickle out into the physical. And that can be in a multitude of ways depending on where are you at in life. To really grasp this, I want to give you guys the definition of what energy means. As a noun, it's the strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. Physics has a better definition that I like, which means the ability to do work, which is the ability to exert a force causing displacement of an object, meaning that it can push or pull something and make it move. Now, when you apply this to energy work, which is the field I work in, it can look very different from person to person because our life experiences help us build this manual for the way energy speaks. My signs and symbols for when something feels or looks like a certain way may be completely different from somebody else because, again, I want to stress, we are all not the same people. We have different life experiences that are either something that was light or heavy in our experience that can mean something completely different for somebody else. I love spicy food. There's people that's out there that cannot deal with spicy food, but I like the spicy food where I could still taste the flavor. Whereas I know people that like it like it's super hot. Quieren que les quema, you know what I'm saying? Like they want it to burn. And I'm like, no, I still want the spice, but I want the taste with it. Or how much I love butterflies and dragonflies, and they can mean something different to somebody else. And how I may not have the same meaning for, say, an animal that I do like, but maybe you love, and it stands for something completely else. So when I am giving these examples, I want you to understand I'm giving them from a standpoint of my personal experiences and how I've seen them in sessions with my clients as well. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We are all not the same, but I want to do it in a way that really honors how energy work in my relationship with energy, with myself, with my clients, with spirit, has really taught me so much. It's like this really beautiful, intricate, and unspoken dance that you're doing with yourself, the people around you, the earth, and just energy and spirit and the cosmos as a whole. It's not ever just one thing. It's so many in one. And I feel like I have had tools from a very young age that I didn't realize were tools to help enhance this. Even as I started to grow up and reach the age of 32 to start learning how to Reiki. and working with channeling and just educating myself around energetic practices. It really started around the age of 28, but I didn't start taking courses or doing things until my Saturn return hit. Then I was like getting more intentional about it. But for a better part of my life, or a big part of my life, it was the tools as a child that helped me expand through play, experimentation, prayer, and imagination. Those were tools I've had since I was a kid. And those tools really helped me unfold into what is energy work, aside from kind of moving into Reiki, channeling, and other forms of modalities. I remember being just a little kid in front of our apartment, and we lived on the west side. And I just remember seeing homeless people. And I would never really ask the question to my mom when she would drive past. I would just kind of look. And I remember one time I was in the front yard and we had cardboard. And I laid the cardboard down on the cement in front of the front door of the apartment, kind of shaded, and it was kind of cold. And I thought to myself, I wonder how homeless people feel when it's cold and they're on a cardboard mat on the floor. So I cut it up, I laid it out, and I just laid there. And I even tried covering myself with cardboard. And I just thought, oh, this is really cold, like on hot nights, on cold nights. And I just remember thinking, like, that's rough. Even as a little kid, I want to say I was either in the 3rd or 4th grade at this time. And I was doing things like this. And I remember I just thought, okay, experiment's over. I know what they feel like. Let me go and make mud pies. And during the time I'm over here playing and making mud pies, then this thought pops in my head of, oh, but they don't have money to buy food, so they don't eat like I eat. I still can go back to those moments as a kid and having those thoughts and that feeling arise within me. Though I may not have known what I was doing as a kid, that was me being empathetic, empathizing with their situations and the feelings and their environments, their conditions, but not old enough to understand what got them into those conditions. But I can at least sympathize with how they felt, what they were going through physically, and I don't like being cold, so I can only imagine how much they hated it too. So I was starting to build this muscle of empathy within my being as a little kid. And so fast forward, I'm older, I have these skills that I'm learning through being certified through Reiki, my channeling course, and just educating myself around the chakra system and having sessions with clients. And I'm starting to realize that because I was building that muscle of empathy within myself as a child, some of the things that were coming up during these sessions were a lot easier to manage. Not saying that I didn't learn everything through the textbook, but I was literally going back and checking out my level 1 Reiki homework and tuning into the audio for my level 1 attunement before I started to record this podcast episode. And I literally heard myself say, this was easier than I thought. And so it's really interesting because I had this idea that it was going to be harder when in reality it isn't. So that's another thing too. Like, if there's something you want to do, don't let your thoughts get in the way. Sometimes we can make those things be harder than they need to be. And we don't get to it because we build up all these walls. Do the research. Sign up for the course, and if it's something that you really, really want to do, plan it out in a way where you're not getting in your own way. Look it up, get the facts, and don't let your mind stop you. And that was something that I felt like I was facing through signing up for these courses. Like, these blocks that would be there wouldn't be as hard every time I proved to myself it was easier, every time that I showed up for myself. So if this can help you do the hard thing, do it. And if you're not able to do it in this moment, what are the steps that you can do to build up to it? Because I feel like this goes along with energy work. Like, I'm paying a fee to take a course, to learn a tool, to learn a skill that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. And that opens up different avenues. And that's how energy works as well. It's not just in sessions. It's in the things that you do for yourself and the ways that you think. Energy work is a very beautiful and intricate dance that doesn't just limit it to being in a practitioner's room. It really is the way that you embody your life, your intentions, your soul work. It can open up doors and close them depending on where you are at with yourself, your relationship with self. the outside just reflects it even more strongly. So it can feel and look like something so different to each person, but I'm giving you my perspective because from the point of view of a receiver, when I first got my Reiki session, it threw me for a loop because I didn't expect for it to open me up emotionally to things I had been ignoring within myself. And at the same time, the practitioner gave me skills and tools to take that somebody's never said to me before, that I started to move differently in the outside world. So this is another benefit to having energy work done on yourself. You can enter a room where someone can feel your energy, see it, and express it to you without you having to say a word. And that's a whole different level of emotional intimacy and intelligence and like a level of vulnerability to be able to expand. I paid the money to go see this person because I felt it within myself that it was time to do this. And I'll share about my first Reiki experience a little bit more in detail on a different episode because there was so much that was like really contributing to me having that session. Weeks, months actually beforehand. And it came at the perfect time. It was literally right before Rona hit in 2020, and it was just crazy. I will leave that here and I'll share it on a different podcast episode later on. And so anyways, I'm having this session and I'm starting to realize I walked away with all of these tools that I can now use in my day-to-day life where I don't feel like nobody sees me, nobody hears me, nobody knows how deeply I feel. No, that practitioner legit made me feel so seen, so heard, and so understood. She even talked about things that I have never mentioned to somebody else outside of me, and it just blew my mind. So if you're feeling like you need that sense of direction, that sense of community, that sense of being understood and held on a whole different level where your energy is doing the talking, then I highly suggest that you book a session with an energy practitioner that speaks to you and let your energy do the talking for you. Sometimes there is this beautiful thing about just being held in a space that is set with intention, love, and care, and where the messages from spirit is leading you to becoming more of you, and it just opens up your heart, opens up the floodgates of this energy coming into you that doesn't have you feeling like you're alone in this world. So I highly recommend booking a session with someone because you won't know the benefits for you personally until you have a session. But some of the benefits I'm giving you from my point of view, which for me was, it literally fired me up about getting certified in Reiki. It also fired me up about taking my energy practice, clearing of my energy, aligning my prayer work a lot more serious, being intentional. I remember she even had brought up stuff about like YouTube channel and all these things I've had in my field, but I never spoke them out, like literally. And so I just want to say it's so healing in the sense of you being seen when nobody outside of you can really like feel you or sense you on that level. It's this different level of intimacy with somebody that you don't even know. And it's so uplifting, and I'm trying to think of the words right now, but the one word I can say is just like so relieving to have someone hold space and just tell you things that you didn't know that you needed to hear. And on top of that, when I've had other energy sessions with my mentor, she also did the same thing, but on a whole different level, because she would like interact with my energy and would be able to call in things from the future that happened to me that hadn't happened yet but did happen, and she was able to guide me in a way that really was for me. And she would say things, and this is what really like did it for me, is she would say things that would speak to my energy, my energetic blueprint via human design. She didn't even know what type I was. She didn't know anything about that, but she knew how to guide me. And that's because spirit was in the session. And so allowing for somebody who is tuned in, tapped on, hold space for you, give you direction and guidance in a way where they really see you and understand your energy can do tenfold. Because after I had sessions with her, I noticed I was shifting in the way that I would show up. I started to have a sense of what my energy was like and how others were. So then through going through level 1, 2, and 3 of Reiki and getting certified and becoming a master myself, I started to realize how important it is to have energetic hygiene through these sessions of energy work, through getting certified, through play, experimentation, prayer, and imagination. Imagination to me is just activating that third eye. But if you're not in tune with your feelings and what feels like truth, what doesn't, and you're not building this manual, it can look very different when you're trying to experiment on a personal level. So that's my personal view as a receiver. Now, energy work from a practitioner point of view, I'm going to flip it, because how this feels like in my body when somebody walks into a session with me is completely different from me walking into a session to receive energy. I will be preparing the room. I'll clear the space, and it's set in a way where I know that my energy is sitting here along with spirits and my team, the Council of 11, angels, and just light, and the frequencies of joy, love, wisdom, and truth are in the room. And so I've had it where somebody has pulled up to their session and they haven't even walked into my room, and I get hit with a wave of sadness, and I just want to cry, and for a moment I just go, this is not mine, because I was fine. I received the messages for this being who was going to come in and have their session with me. All of a sudden, this feeling of sadness and just like lowness hits me, and I know it's not mine, so I call it out, and I take note, and I share that with my client. And lo and behold, they had a rough night the night before. They were going through something emotional. This is why they booked, and we digressed. And I've had that happen on a multitude of levels. I usually sit down 30 minutes before a session. I'll ask for messages. I'll write them down. I'll give it to my client that comes into the room, or whether it's virtual, will read them out loud and let them know, hey, this is what your energy was telling me. And for every client, it's been different. Sometimes they'll give me information about like what are the circumstances around you at the moment, and they'll have me feel it. I'll hear what you've been kind of dealing with, and I'll get confirmation of things in your body. Like I think one time they actually let me know there was issues in the feet and certain things that I've never met this person before. I do not follow any of my clients on Instagram because I love being surprised too, but I don't like knowing your personal business like that. So if I don't follow you on Instagram, please do not take it personal. I just don't like to be in your field all the time, because I like it when you guys come in and the energy speaks for itself, and I just speak out loud what the energy is telling me. And so when I give you the messages, when you're in session with me, you know what's going on, and you know that I'm not out there seeing your stories on Instagram if you happen to share about your personal life or any shape, form, or way, whether it's on different social media platforms. As a practitioner, when I'm having a session with a client, sound tends to give me a lot of information. So I use sound bowls, and I'll hit the sound bowl and I'll get the information clairaudiently. I'll write it down or I'll speak it, as well as when I am in different layers of your aura or your chakra system, your energy speaks to me. And how it speaks to me, this is how it looks like for me. It's in my inner vision. I will see your chakra. Depending on the person, everybody's chakra shows up a little bit different. Some people will show up as wheels of light. Some people will show up as flowers. Some people I've even seen like futuristic robot kind of thing. And sometimes people's energy just speaks to me in this vintage kind of like 50s vibe. And so the energy is very different for each person, because not every client of mine is the same. And you guys are all at different phases and different stages of your life and different levels of consciousness and awareness of what is going on with yourself. So your energy really does reflect this. I can see when somebody is working with intention on their energy field. I can see when they're doing work with their ancestors, or I can see when things have been heavy in your energetic field, especially like people that do a lot of office work. And I remember one time there was somebody who I could pick up on their headset, and I was like, you have a lot of talking in this year and it's heavier. And it's like, it feels very like it's blocking the information from coming in. And then this person just said, oh, I usually wear my headset on that side, and so I have to move it. And so like the energy will show up in your aura. I kid you not. And Reiki is a tool I use to clear it. as a practitioner point of view, whatever you're doing in your life, if your energy wants to be called out, or if there's something that's in the way of your energy flowing more smoothly, it will come up so that it can get cleared, especially on people's backs. This is one of my favorite things to do because I feel like we carry a lot of responsibility in other people's energy on our backs. And so I do this thing during sessions where I like to look at a person's back through my inner vision, but I'm doing the energy work at the same time. And I'm like flipping your bones, but they look like stones to me. And I'm just looking at the energy that's under there. And so when the energy is rising up, the best way I can describe this is there's this gooey stuff that looks black and slimy, and it has a personality. It kind of looks like those little soot monsters off of the Ghibli movie Spirited Away. They have like little eyes and they come out, but this is like muck, like gooey, like slime, and they have eyes and they'll speak. And for some people, I've seen it on like the left shoulder, right shoulder, and I can connect with that energy and have it speak. And as I'm talking to it, it's coming out, it's releasing out of your body, because these are energies that have been stuck there for so long and been ignored or just absorbed. And sometimes it's a sense of responsibility, and it can like literally link to the bottom of it can link to the backside of your sacral chakra that ties in with your family and your sense of responsibility. Sometimes on people's shoulders, I've seen numbers come up and it'll represent how many siblings they have, whether female or male, and it will just explain and come up and be talked about. Sometimes I've noticed these are things that are just confirmation for you as the client to know that, okay, this person is picking up on my energy. There's no way she can know this. And it's always fun because when I have a client that I do not have any contact with, I don't know you from Adam, and you come in and your energy does all the talking and you guys are silent, and then you tell me, oh yeah, that's that. And I'm just like, oh, cool. It's like, there's no way I can know this stuff. And it's always fun for me as a practitioner in the sense of like, this is how energy speaks to me. It speaks through imagery, through feeling, through sound, through a flavor and a smell that is completely different from what my regular energetic level is. And if you are just like, how do you even do this? How can I even work with my energy like this? Like, how do you even get close to being aware of something like this? Honey, it's called tools. Herramientas in Spanish. Get your herramientas and start experimenting with them. If you want to build something, in this case, we're building a relationship with your energy, you're going to need the tools. You need to learn how to use tools for certain things. Now, I compiled this list. My number one tool is intention. Intention is key. I will always say when your intention is clear, it helps you align with your why in the right direction. Even if it doesn't make sense in the moment, it is what guides you beyond this moment in time and space and towards the right path. And the way this kind of showed up for me is like this invisible thread linking you to your future self possibility without having to know all the details, without having to know how is this going to work, but just trusting how it feels so right in your body. And it'll just propel you forward. You'll know what the next move feels like because it feels right. It takes practice, so I always recommend starting small. If your intention is to work with your energy, you're working with your own energy before you even try to go outside of you. You're learning the language of your energetic marker first, and that takes time. And the tools that can help you know what your energy is like, aside from intention, is journaling and having an energetic practice for cleansing your energy. So like an aura and chakra clearing meditation, which you can find a bunch on YouTube, are definitely good ones to explore and see which one speaks to your energy. And spending time alone in your energy, reflecting on how you feel in those moments of solidness. Are you high on energy that day? Are you low? Are you grumpy? Are you happy? And just kind of asking yourself questions to get to know yourself. Like, think of it as you're dating your energy. What do you want to know about your energy? You got to start asking questions like, how do I feel today? What do I want to eat? why is my stomach hurting? Why is this? When you kind of bring awareness to how your physical body is doing, how your mental state is doing, how your emotional state is doing, and how your spiritual state is doing, you're creating awareness around these four bodies that are important because they help govern your physical reality here. And they also support you on a multitude of ways. If you're feeling like this is a bit too much for yourself and you don't even know where to start, you can always, of course, the free thing is to go online, look up self-awareness practices and pick one that works best for your energy level. But if you're feeling like, no, I need somebody to hold space for me, I'd like to work with somebody, book a session with someone whose energy speaks to you. I've already expressed to you how awesome it is to have somebody hold space for you. Let your energy do the talking and be able to ask some questions to gain clarity and awareness and alignment that suits you as an individual. So if you have an energy practitioner that your energy vibes with, that you're like, yes, I like this person, book a session. It doesn't have to be me, but if it is me, thank you. I offer intuitive soul alignment sessions, and I also offer channeling sessions. And you can book through my website, which is sparkthehearts.com. My booking links and everything are on there. I'll have the information on the show notes as well of this episode so that you can see what it's like to be in a session with me and see what your energy has to say. But if you want to go at this and you feel like I want to build my relationship a little bit slowly, use those tools. Work with journaling, work with meditation work, spend time with yourself and really like jot this stuff down, because just experiencing it, like how many times have you just like experienced any type of moment or situation and you can talk about it, you can have it happen to you in your body. But if you don't record it, it's like, oh, I don't remember in detail because time passes by and you miss all the details. So it's really important to be like the own scribe of your story. Jot it down. It's important. These are things that are going to help build your manual about your own energy. And if you have somewhere to go back and reflect on, like I have journals that I've kept since 2018, especially with like astrology transits. I like to go back and think like, okay, where was I in this year, 5 years from now? Because this kind of energy is going to show up here in this energy. So it kind of just helps you navigate your energy in a way. You're not just only building a manual, you're also building a language with your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirituality. And the best way to do those things is to have a safe space to express this. Journaling is top-notch. Meditation is top-notch. Asking yourself questions is top-notch ways of getting to know yourself. Looking up practices that speak to you and really help you embody your energy in a way that supports you is key. And again, booking a session with someone whose energy speaks to you can help propel you forward even more. There's something about when you pay for a service, it's like this, I'm trying to think of the way to describe this because I do it all the time and I know what it feels like for me. Every time I would book, whether it be a therapy session with my therapist, whether it be a mentor session or energetic session, every time I paid this money, the universe like unlocked this level of awareness within myself and helped push out what isn't serving me, because it's like you're sending out this message energetically to the world and to yourself, because you're changing your dynamic with your mentality and what you think about and feel about, whether it's money or energy work or just your feelings or mental states. You're shifting your awareness in a way that heightens the vibrancy and the frequency of your being, and it attracts more of what you want while also letting go. So having space held for you in these type of transformative vessels really anchors in that light for yourself. And even when you do it for yourself as well, when you're sitting down and you're showing spirit that you're serious about connecting with your energy, that you're serious about wanting to invoke a change that's built on structure. I keep thinking of Saturn, the planet of structure and like slowing down and doing things. Like you get these big rewards when you do that. And I can say this stuff because I have done it. And I know how uncomfortable it's felt being unaware and being stuck for so long and letting my thoughts get in the way of me being able to do something. But once you get over that hurdle and once you prove to yourself it's not as hard as you thought, the second time gets easier. The third time it gets easier. The fourth and fifth time it gets easier. So just know that energy work, whether you do it with yourself and it's an intimate relationship with spirit where you're calling in this stuff, it moves things. And if you're doing it with a practitioner, it also moves things. But energy work is something that is sacred and magical and so amazing because it really does move things. I gave you guys the definition of energy, and I gave you how physics also gave the definition about how it can move or push or pull something and make it move. So imagine energy work being this force that comes in to push out what is no longer serving you and to anchor in more of the light that is going to help give you the energy to do the work that your soul is asking you to do on this physical plane. It takes divine timing. It takes this trust within yourself and this knowingness within yourself to move accordingly. But if you can listen to your soul's call, if you can tune into your heart and feel into what feels like truth for you, it really helps clear things and amplify them for you. So I hope this episode helped answer what energy work can look like, feel like, and what are some of the benefits, as well as what is energy work, and help give you some guidance on how you could do it for yourself. If there's any other topics that you guys would like me to touch on, by all means, if you're on a platform where you can tell me what's going on in your world and just share what you would like to hear from me, I'll make it a point to once in a while go on my Instagram stories and just ask, like, what are some podcast episodes you guys would be interested in? So if you aren't already following me on those platforms, I am on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. Hit me up on there and tune in for my stories. I like to post motivational things on there. I post myself skating, or I'll post a few Instagram carousels with motivational things to just help you guys feel more like yourselves, because I know how much of a difference it makes for me to see something inspirational and positive come across my feed, and I just want to share that same energy back with you guys. So thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast episode. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll make it a point to put on the podcast notes of this episode some questions to help you work with your energy. Make sure you check those out, write them down, jot them down. Let me know how your progress goes. I was so happy because one of my listeners reached out after listening to The Power of Your Voice and was very open and vulnerable about her experience, and it was just so heartfelt. So I love hearing from you guys. I love getting feedback and knowing where you're at, and just like sharing that sense of community with you and support in a way where you're not feeling alone, but you're also letting me know that you're tuning in. And it just brings so much joy to my heart to hear from you guys. So please don't be shy. Drop me a line on whatever platform you're on, or just shoot me a message, whether it's on one of my reels or on Instagram. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you again for all of your love, support, and thank you for being here today. Until next time, bye for now. Thank you for tuning in today. To stay up to date on all my happenings and offerings, I invite you to follow me on my YouTube channel and Instagram, which is at Spark the Heartz with the Z at the end. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, please see the links to my booking page and website on the show notes of this episode. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to our next gathering. Bye for now.